Bonjour and welcome back to the French campaign in Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. We're finally fighting Austria. Well, okay, it's just a single light cruiser. It's not the big battle I was trying to set up, so yeah, I'm a little bit blue-balled as well. But a fight is a fight. What on earth have you built, Austria-Hungary? I know it's an AI refit, so, like, who knows what kind of shenanigans have gone into this. It seems like one of those designs that would be illegal if a player made it. I've seen those before, where they just go, what? Funnels? Superstructure? Anything? Nah, we don't need that. One thing is really weird here. Yeah, something is definitely a bit off with this boat. Like, really. It says it has a lot of guns, but they're not visible on the model. I'm surprised the game just didn't have an aneurysm and crashed. So, at least that's good. Also, there was like something red here under the water. Some component that is connected to the ship, but yeah, see there? Under here. It was something. What is that? Like a torpedo tube or something? Better not be torpedoing my ship from underneath. Anyway, it seems pretty easy to shut down. It is shooting at me somehow with its non-existent guns. Very weird. I've seen ships with no funnels before. I've seen ships with no superstructure before. But I've never seen a ship without anything. That's the first. Wow, Britain, you are losing transports all over. Right. If Austria-Hungary doesn't want to play, then it's time for this task force to go and do something. Destination East Asia. These are all going back. That's just one torpedo boat. Like they're like going back and forth. I don't know. 97% chance to succeed. Just gonna put these in the big task force. So if the Chinese arrive, at least we're gonna all be ready for it. Montcalm, once again, up against a Chinese light cruiser. No transports this time, just a straight up battle. This time, the Chinese have everything they need on their light cruiser for it to be a light cruiser. Luckily, their puny 5.1-inch guns not capable of going through my armor. Like, this would be an excellent counter to those Spanish light cruisers. This Chinese one would eat those for breakfast. Gonna reduce speed a little bit, get a little bit more accuracy out of those 7-inch guns. Turn off the secondaries just for now. We'll get a few good flooding hits in. Like that. Chance to hit is good. In theory, we should be nailing them with 2 out of 3 shots. We're accelerating back up to top speed. Trying to get up to their side. I got the Mark II 7-inch guns unlocked now, so we can make these really good. And also rangefinders, which would help a little bit with accuracy. There we go, permanent destroyed compartments in the engine room. Have fun not going anywhere. Slow down more, can't we? Yeah, we can. Their little guns are bouncing off. Handgun accuracy is good now. Let's turn on the secondaries. That's, I think, the entire engine room permanently flooded. Now we've got a seasoned crew. After this, they're probably gonna be veterans. They're proving pretty good at doing exactly this. That's the third Chinese light cruiser they've claimed. And they're getting better at it every time. There. No contest. To think that this was such a disappointing design to begin with. Now they're really hitting their stride. Let's see. You are done waiting for the Austrians to do something. But where to send you? China seems to be sending everything back now. Yeah. We're gonna try and meet them, like here. We can go through the Suez. They cannot. They're hostile to Britain. But then we like run into that same problem of trying to encounter the enemy on the open sea rather than at their destination. Let's take a look at research. I got two priorities now that I'm using. Mark II 8-inch guns, 84 months. I think I'm just going to wait those out. We got the twin torpedo tubes. And in 2 months, we get better torpedo range. So at that point, I think it might be time to make some new torpedo boats, or at least refit the ones we have. And we also get bigger heavy cruisers. The text here for the techs is like no longer correct because they've been increased in the latest version of DIP. So that's not 8,000, that's 8.5. Right. 8.5 in 1 month. And a new heavy cruiser hull. Also reinforced bulkheads. That will be very nice to have. That's like 10 years. 11. Thereabouts. The 17 Mark 1. The Mark 1 14 in 7 months. But what I really want here is the Mark 2 13. But we gotta go through all the other Mark 1s first. Or at least most of them. I'm not sure if we've got to go through the Mark 1 like 15 or 16, or if Mark 2 13 comes after. I could probably just check the params file, but either way, I want to keep that one prioritized. So, who's fighting whom now? Britain is still very friendly. They are fighting, our old enemies. Does Spain have anything left? I think they've got like one island. Yeah, that one tiny province, which has like no income, and they're evidently still suffering from transport losses. So they're probably never going to recover from that, especially if they're like fighting the entire world. And that will just have to wait until someone decides to invade this tiny island, which I could have taken from a naval invasion, but that means I could not have gotten the Dominican Republic in the peace treaty. Right. Fingers crossed, we're gonna run into some Chinese ships. Because the Austrians were certainly not coming out. And we get a peace treaty with Chile, finally. The problem with that one tiny island they have left is I still need 25,000 tons to initiate the naval invasion. And my tonnage in the Far East, they're kind of tied up with China. But I guess it's one tiny naval invasion. We can find time for that one. Do I want your battleships, Chile? Kinda not really. Mostly because they're very small. Let's take your islands instead. Yes. I got 2 of them. That's still going well. We have taken southern China. That's pretty neat. And my torpedo boats are already running out of fuel. That means I will remove them from the formation. Send them to port. So we're going into battle without torpedo boats. They just simply don't have the range in the 1890s. You can probably fix that. Another one of these light cruisers without anything attached to them, and 1 armored cruiser. 4 inches of armor at the thickest. That is a like an AI design though. I don't think I made any shared design ships for Austria-Hungary. I think I made a battleship. But that's it. Forfait, that's the new one. Let's see if it's any good. Yeah, it's still that thing. But that is one big convoy. Tajé is brand new. Green crew. Davout, veteran already. We're gonna send you after the weird one. I wonder if all the Austrian light cruisers are like this. Villach, 4 inches of armor at the maximum. Which we can go through with our 7-inch guns. And that's at +5 too. I'm measuring my armor pen against +30. No, don't use switch targets. You're not allowed to. It's a pretty fast armored cruiser. And that's a lot of area that is not covered by armor. Okay, you're sailing in front of that light cruiser. Time to exploit. There. Yeah, I'm just gonna slow you way down. You just lay next to that armored cruiser and pummel it. Destroy the main gun. Is it gonna explode soon? It's not doing too hot, that's for sure. Let's have this completely naked ship on the thumbnail, maybe. Tage is taking some kind of fire in return. It's just not very effective. Like, there's not even like a schematic from the side here, just the top down. That is weird. Let me check if Melon Loader has like an error for that ship. Yeah. Lots of like missing mount errors. For like light cruiser Austria-Hungary. I'm just surprised it didn't cause the game to crash. But that's good that it didn't. Let's just finish off this armored cruiser. Well, let's just get up alongside it. Most of those 9-inch guns aren't even firing back. I mean, the one centerline gun they have aft is still effective. Can take care of the transports now. Davut. Are you expensive? 13.9 million. Oof, and you do punch back. You're not out of the battle yet, Vilok. You're gonna be. Then I fear Tage will not be able to catch up with those transports. Not after that damage. No, we're pumping out the water. Might be able to fix those engines. If that's not a red compartment. Yeah, one engine fixed. Tage not out of the count yet. Back up to doing 11 knots, which is still too slow to catch up. So yeah, she might be out of it. But also Davout seems to handle herself just fine. I'll just turn that up to times 30. Get this over with. Yeah, not too heavy damage on Tajay. 75%. It should be a 1-month repair, I think. And the last one. Out of HE for the main guns. There. Very weird with those light cruisers they have. I'm just happy the game is robust enough to just deal with it instead of crashing. And the old favorite, Montcalm, this time with a veteran crew, out to hunt another Chinese light cruiser. This is going to end up being one of those very effective light cruisers that I end up naming a class after, isn't it? Like the Veve in my Ottoman campaign. It started out as one light cruiser of many in a class named something else, which just turned out to be very effective. So when it sank, I named the next class after it in honor of it. And it turned out to be, I think, my favorite light cruiser class of any campaign I've played. Right, secondaries off till we can punch some holes and let the water in. And then, when we're close enough to them that the main gun accuracy is up to 80–90%, then we can turn the secondaries on, because at that point, the gun splashes don't really matter. There we go, first flooding hit. Is that going to be engine damage? Not quite. Not quite, not yet. But they're slowed down enough that we're catching up to them. And we can reduce speed. There we go. Engines are out. Now the secondaries can join in. I guess that makes sense. At this range, you're not really like firing ranging shots and observing the splashes. You're just aiming almost directly. 1.5 kilometers for a 7-inch gun, that shouldn't be much of a problem. Especially not against a target that is essentially stationary. And Jiangzheng is sinking. Let's go catch the transports. Mains on one, secondaries on the other. Again, no weapons on the transports. Unarmed. And the first one has surrendered. Or setting scuttling charges, as is the case now. Just so there's no confusion in the player thinking that they're gonna get the surrendered ships. And Yu Sheng will also surrender, I think, before sinking. Or they're gonna scuttle their own ship. There we go. Montcalm really showing the Chinese what's what. And in the meantime, with the Chinese fleet dispersed all over the place, and then trying to get back desperately, but now out of fuel, Japan has seized the chance to go and grab... what are they grabbing? Is it Magong or Formosa? It could be either or, actually. Will we take Thailand before the army takes it? Probably. Maybe. No. It seems the army got a bunch of reinforcements, so they're going to be pushing that hard. Especially as the Chinese army logistics is 26%. Transport capacity is holding. Right, let's see then if they're going like through here. I send my not the torpedo boats, the other ships. The torpedo boats were out of fuel, so they're being sent to port. Send them there. We should encounter a big Chinese task force, maybe. But again, it's hard to judge. The Austrians have one more ship out to sea now. One light cruiser with nothing on it. And the game is not awarding me with a battle. We do have better torpedoes now. Chile has taken back Peru. It was Magong that they took. Not Formosa. But why? It's worth a lot more. Okay, so there's one task force I want to fight. Here's another one. We're just gonna hope that the game gives me the fight I want to have. Instead of making me like send ships back and forth trying to chase down an enemy task force. Right, research. We got better torpedo propulsion. We got twin torpedo tubes. We have soon better torpedo dud chance. And reinforced bulkheads. In just over a year and a half, we're going to have the Mark II 11-inch gun. And then we're going to have the Mark II 12-inch gun. And then I think it's time to build some of those battleships. Are we going to have to be the ones who rid the world of Spain? We'll see. After grabbing this one, might just put an end to them. No to the alliances. And we do have 2 battles. 5 transports lost. West Indian Ocean. I think since the Austrians didn't really have a battle to offer us, we're just gonna peace out. Everyone else is already grabbing everything they have, so yeah, once the Russians take Croatia, that's gonna be it for Austria-Hungary. Because then they have no more ports. Unless they have like some other territory somewhere. So it's better to get a peace treaty now while they can still give us something. And of course, we do not get a battle with the Chinese. You know what? We're gonna cut you off there. I think I'm gonna arrive before you because I have fuel and you don't. Let's fight these battles then. 2 light cruisers with nothing on them. 1 light cruiser with nothing on it. I guess some screenshots from this is going in the bug reports. Yeah, you're only going 13 knots. 14 actually. You are firing back, but from where? Where are your guns? Are they all underwater? I mean, they might probably be. I think those are them that I see way down there. Luckily, these abominations are not too difficult to sink. So they're gonna stop offending my eyes pretty soon. Can't see where they're flooding. As long as they don't crash the game. Like, weird bugs like this don't bother me as much as they amuse me. And the second one I wasn't even gonna show, but Davut seems to have a thing for just slaughtering these with the 6-inch guns. The first one went down in seconds. And the second one will be gone now very soon. What is... Huh? I guess that was one of the underwater guns exploding. So, technically very impressive that they're able to have the turrets underwater like that. Maybe not actually effective, though. It doesn't seem to work out too well for them. And we have a meeting. And there's a rebellion and a revolution in Austria-Hungary, which would boost their economy, but I don't think there's much left of them. I don't really care about the Ottoman Empire at this point. I would rather just have a couple years of peacetime to grow the economy. And okay, that's not the big task force I had in the Arabian Sea, lurking and trying to encounter the Chinese. But it's a big battle nonetheless. Sunpsyche M. Either that's just a like a randomly generated name, or it's one of the shared design ships from the M or EM shared design ship pack, because they always put that EM suffix on their ships. But it could be either or. Anyway, we're gonna try this, even if we are badly outnumbered, especially in terms of light cruisers. I mean, it's been a pretty long episode already, but it would be wrong of me to keep you blue-balled for one more episode. Ah, that's one of the German-style battleship hulls. Nice. Right. Let's see how this goes. And these are my smallest, like, least advanced battleships. They have been refit recently, but that's still only 2 single guns per ship. So this is going to be a bit of a struggle. But that's fine. We have been handed so many easy matches now. From the lack of like decent opponents, that it's time we had some proper opposition. Let's slow you down to cruising speed. Let's see, light cruisers. Lore, Chatterano. You with the 7-inch guns. You are following the armored cruiser that is following the battleship. And you're actually going to be following... Come on. There. Which class are you? You're one of those. Which means you will now be following that one instead. Alright. That's the basic formation. That is a big enemy force. That is some decent armor on this ship. But it is one of their starting battleships. So it's got the black and brown powder. And a decent design can only do so much with those components. As we saw with the Chilean and the Ottoman battleships, which were my designs, but not refit to include the latest mid 1890s technology, which might be a good thing if we are to consider what the Austrians did with their refits. That was not good. I'm gonna send the torpedo boats like off to the side, and we're gonna like maybe look for an opening somewhere. Battleships, you are to focus that enemy battleship. Armored cruiser. Oh, good start, good start. That's a good start. No, you are not to switch main gun targets. I told you that before. Dongying, 1-inch armor belt. Okay, so they're following the, these are not as advanced as the other Chinese light cruisers we've been fighting in the 1v1s. These are evidently older designs. Okay, we're gonna send the torpedo boats like back around, and we're gonna engage that battleship, which is now finding itself all alone. That means my battleships will now be switching their main guns to the armored cruisers. One light cruiser sunk. You are engaging my light cruisers, are you? With your 11-inch guns? And we're scoring really good hits on these light cruisers now. And the 12-inch shots doing pretty decent damage. I wonder if that was an... Yeah, that had to have been an accidental hit. Because my 12-inch guns are focused on the armored cruisers. Happy little accidents happening here. Let's bring these up towards the battleship. Yeah, that first 4-belt pen really did a number on it. Well, it's not like catastrophic damage, but their cruiser screen is really coming in close. But their torpedo boats, they are actually screening the battleship. Are these all 1-inch armored light cruisers? Yeah, they are. So my 6-inch guns should be capable of doing something. You're going straight for that one. Conning tower out on Dylan. Now these guys don't have torpedoes, so I don't really have to worry too much about them getting close. If anything, they should be worried about getting close to my light cruisers. T-4 on approach. Oh, freak it. Gosh darn it. That's the wrong one. I meant to detach it, not put it into reverse. Hopefully they can fix that. Would that be possible to move that reverse button so it's not next to the detach from division button? Come on, T-4. There we go. Torps in the water. You did your job. Your engines are still out. And we have switched targets again, Patrie. I told you. Don't. Invincible. Still firing at the right ship. We're hit by the return torpedo. We did score 4 torpedo hits. This one still has engines out. Because of that button is in the way. Yeah, 1 torpedo boat lost. The question is, can the other one fix its engines and complete that mission? Maybe not. I'm gonna bring a 3rd one instead. Okay, you're just retreating. Well, we are scoring hits on those armored cruisers. At least. You fixed 1 engine. T7. I want to try and just get some torpedoes into this mess. It's a 33 million battleship. I want to add a Chinese battleship to the list of battleships that have sunk with torpedo boats. They're closing in. we take flooding damage. And this torpedo boat is also damaged. Mutual torpedo hits between our torpedo boats. That's not a good torpedo angle, but we're gonna try. And then keep sailing. That's quite a bit more flooding on the Chinese battleship. Might be needing a few more compartments than that if I want to sink it, like fully. Let's detach these two light cruisers. Send them off to fight the two stragglers there. That's just so annoying with that accidentally hitting that reverse button. One enemy armored cruiser down. Soon one light cruiser down. The enemy battleship is still afloat. We could still get it. This torpedo boat is almost rearmed again. You know what? We're just gonna turn back. Those torpedoes will be ready by the time we're back in range. And that battleship is not really going anywhere. We are knocking out Chinese armored cruisers. All in all, things are not going too bad. My smoke screen is not up. Secondaries on the battleships can target light cruisers again. With 1 inch of armor, secondaries should get it done. Here comes the return torpedo. We did sink the battleship. 1 torpedo boat for a battleship? Okay, it's in total it's more than 1 torpedo boat. It's 2 against a battleship. 1 lost down here somewhere and 1 lost because I clicked the wrong button. But at the very least, we We are really hurting those cruisers. They're not too cheap either. I mean, cheaper than mine, but... Patrie, you are in full-on kill that light cruiser panic mode. Because it's coming in with torpedoes. But we're torpedoing it back. And I think our torpedoes cleared the launch angle first. They have not launched yet. And the big guns and the torpedoes. Oh, but we do get launched return torpedoes before they go down. Can we go full power and accelerate out of the way? I think we can. Actually, we're just gonna double back on ourselves like this. Just maintain that turn. That was close. You never know what some light cruiser torpedoes might do to your battleship. Lavoisier. De Grasse. Duchaila, you are badly hurt. You're one of my new ones. TB90 T6, still barely afloat, but engaged by enemy torpedo boats. You guys, I kind of forgot about you. You're gonna have to do something about these two. And then maybe come back and slaughter some torpedo boats. How many 3-inch guns do you have now? One. One each. That's not good enough. And of course the weather comes and messes everything up. But it's safe to say that the enemy force is in disarray. Yeah, 1 inch at -2%. Can't quite go through with that, with the high explosives. Maybe save those HE shells for when you have to deal with the torpedo boats. And instead just go with overpens from the AP. I mean, it's not going to do much either way. Should have sent the ones with the 7-inch guns after those two. But they are all out of HE now. So there we go, scoring good hits. Over here, the good hits are not being scored, but we are scoring hits, at least. We've knocked out engines. Guangxi, why are you not sunk yet? I guess it's a good thing that my torpedo boat is keeping the enemy torpedo boats busy. And that's one less problem I gotta deal with the main force. Battleship secondary guns can deal with this one. Wenling. And then this one. Enemy armored cruiser down. I'll detach these light cruisers. Send them down here. Start taking out torpedo boats. I didn't think I'd be able to sink the entire enemy task force. But you might be able to. We've got to sink this one before it's got its torpedoes off. Sinking. Good. Something just got smacked. There. A bit hard to see which ship is targeting which ship when the fog obscures the red targeting lines. Taiching is also sinking now. 2%, 1%. 0.9. Yep, she's going down. Somewhere in this area, there are a bunch of torpedo boats. We're gonna try and find them. Pinatre. Going after this one. You're out of HE. That's why we're not really doing things against the enemy light cruisers. I see. Gotta bring you into range with those secondary guns then. Battleship definitely not out of HE. And look at that damage, both of them. One after the other. Invincible says, hey, check this out. Demolishes one light cruiser. Patrie goes, yeah, I can do that too. These ones really taking their time though. We're gonna get Yichang. He's not as fast and also flooding. We can catch up, gun it down with the 3-inch secondary, and if needs be. And we found the enemy torpedo boats. Excellent. They are on low fuel. Bajong. Surrendered. Scuttled, rather. And they got more somewhere. Somewhere in this area. There. Juju. Yeah, we found them. A full squadron of 4. I think there's another squadron of 4 hiding in the fog bank. But the Vaucier and the Grasse sniffed them out. Yeah, there we are. Lai Wu. Let's not hit the wrong button now. I'm gonna detach the Grasse. Or is that de Gras? It's up to your secondaries now, because you're all out of 7-inch guns. 7-inch shells. And you just have, oh, Lavoisier. Only AP left. And you get your own torpedoes knocked out. Huge damage to the bow. And that was from, what, one tiny 3-inch hit. From an enemy torpedo boat. That is bad luck. Battle going on all fronts. Like, ideally, these should be the ones engaging the torpedo boats with their 6-inch high explosive, and the ones with the 7-inch guns should be dealing with these light cruisers with their 7-inch HE, which can go through the 1-inch of light cruiser armor. Are you sinking yet, Yichung? Thinking about it. I'm thinking about it. We got more ships coming in. Including the battleships. How much for one of these? 1.6 million? they're gonna sink my torpedo boats. I'm not leaving here until I've sunk theirs. Lai Wu surrendering. Da Qing. Next up. Like this foggy weather, it does look good when you zoom in like this. I have to admit, it is like atmospheric. But when you zoom out to actually command your ships, it's just kind of in the way. We've yet to sink Yichang. These guys are going to run out of ammo before that ship is sunk. I could probably do with some micromanagement, but that attention falls to these two light cruisers. Which have to not stray within torpedo range of these torpedo boats. They're low on fuel, they're not going to catch me. That's why they're kind of just meandering around. But if I'm not careful, I get too close and I get torpedoed. That's one about to surrender. And here comes my armored cruiser. And the battleships. They're gonna leave no survivors. There, finally. Better. Chatrano still has ammunition left. Fleuret does not. It's just partial pens and ricochets. And overpens, I guess, from the 6-inch armor piercing. There we go, actually some flooding. Almost flew too close to the sun there, Lavoisier. On left, Huludao. And Yichang, the light cruiser, also sinks due to heavy flooding, so these two are the last two remaining. This one is going to surrender very soon. Or get scuttled. There we go. There. That was actually all of them. I initially thought, yeah, I was going to try and do some damage and then retreat, but we did get all of them. A little bit of a lengthy mop-up at the end there. I lost 3 torpedo boats. One of them entirely due to me clicking the wrong button. But that's not bad. That is a healthy victory point score over China. Right, transport losses. Not so serious this turn. We've conquered Thailand. Let's go just knock Spain out of the game. You're not allowed to play anymore, Spain. This task force still has fuel. One battleship, 1 heavy cruiser, 2 light cruisers. I guess we're sending these here. Now we actually have their destination. We can cut them off. And, you know, two of these light cruisers with nothing on them. I might just do that one off camera because it doesn't seem like they're doing anything in return. Like, their guns are firing, technically, but I think they're doing so underwater, so it doesn't really work out. Goodbye, and take care.